welcome back. I hope you guys are having a great day. If you're new to this channel, my name is Jeff, and this is where I review and share my personal gun collection and my watch collection. A lot of you guys have asked as to what is on my wrist during my reviews, so I figured I would show you my latest purchase. This is a 2018 Sea Dweller, and this is a no crown 43mm. Purchased randomly on my birthday, which we'll explain a little later. I'm currently still wearing the 2018 Root Beer. This is my engagement watch, very sentimental. With that being said, we'll see you at the review. Starting things off, I have two boxes here. This is going to be the 2018 two-tone Root Beer in 40mm, and this is going to be the 2018 Sea Dweller in 43. Not really a comparison's sake, but more of a reference point. So depending on the size of your wrist, if you're curious to know how the 43 is going to fit, you can gauge it against the 40mm if you have that, and kind of see where you're at. I also want to point out that this was purchased new from the AD, which was Saks Diamond Center. They are no longer an AD, but they do sell pre-owned currently. I couldn't be happier. The information is right here. My salesperson has been Kiva. They have been absolutely beyond amazing. From diamonds to necklaces, whatever you guys want. I will say right now, I have not paid a huge premium for this 2018 pre-owned. I do understand that Chrono 24, Bob's Watches, and numerous other sites out there have various prices. We will not be diving into that in this video. Starting off with Sea Dweller, this is going to be your box. And as you can see right here, the box does not flap out in the front like it will in the medium size. And here we go. Beautiful green leather. Absolutely love these boxes. And again, this is pre-owned. I was pretty fortunate. This watch must have sat in somebody's safe. We'll get into that in just a minute. And for comparison's sake, this will be your medium-sized box that came with the two-tone Root Beer. And as you can see, it flaps out. Now I do like these better, but you can't be picky when it comes to this. You get what you get at the end of the day. And then as you open this up, and this is the Root Beer. And we'll dive more into this a little bit later for comparison's sake. But I want to show you the boxes to kind of give you an understanding on how the size differences compare. Flipping over your tag that came with the watch, you'll see a barcode. And on the bottom right, it should say Oyster. That's going to tell you what kind of clasp you have or your bracelet. And then right next to it should be a letter. In this case, it's going to be M for medium. And that's going to be for the two-tone. And then for the Sea Dweller, it's going to say S for small. And that's going to let you know that the box that came with this should be a small. And as you can see here, this is a complete set to include box and papers. Your reference number is going to reference this actual watch. In this case, it's going to be the Sea Dweller. And this is 2018. And this will be a 50th anniversary. And this actually is a no crown, which we'll explain in a few minutes. So that reference number, when you pull that up into your Google search or whatever platform you want to use, should pull up this watch and maybe different variations. It might be, in some watches it might be a two-tone, it might be a different color face, something like that, but it should pull up this type of watch. So if you pull up this reference number and a GMT shows up, obviously you know there's a problem, it's probably fake. I was pretty fortunate when I was offered this watch. It literally came with everything. As you can see here, the bezel still has a cover on it. And get a better look at it. Now earlier I had mentioned that this is a no crown. For those of you that don't know, between Swiss and Made in 2018, this watch came with a crown in between there. So somewhere in 2018 they decided to stop doing that. So this is kind of a transitional period. This is a 2018, but somewhere in 18 they added the crown to the bottom, and mine does not have it. So what does that mean? Collectible? Yeah, I'm sure this watch will be very collectible in the future. For me, this is just my daily wear, and it's something I really appreciate. So is this a Mark 1 or a Mark 2? The Mark 2s have the crown, the Mark 2 does not, but yet this is a different year. I'm guessing, for me personally, that this is going to still be a Mark 1 even though it's a different year because it doesn't have that crown. Now, talking about collectability, again, I did not pay a large amount over retail for this watch as you would from Chrono 24 or other places. You can't buy this anymore with no crown because all the 2018s on up, well, past that period in 2018, have the crown between Swiss and made. Is that important to you? Probably not. Mostly for the collectors, it's a big deal. For me, it just so happens this is what I was offered. Speaking of which, it wasn't planned for me to buy this. I was actually at Saxon's Diamond Center doing some early Christmas shopping for my fiance, and Kiba, I'll provide his information right here. We just got to chatting, and I basically said, hey, look, down the road I'm looking for something, but not right now. That was kind of a conversation that was very brief, and then my fiance was like, you know what, he is actually looking for something down the road. And then he gave me that little nod like, hey, come over here. So he offered me this watch, and I wasn't going to say no. It was not planned. It so happens it was on my birthday. So that was really cool. It was an amazing moment. Now this watch actually still has some of the stickers on it. Again, this is a pre-owned watch. And as you can see right there, the stickers are still on the watch. So Saxon's Diamond Center is selling pre-owned. At some point this was sold from another place and it still had the stickers on the watch. And as you can see right there, they're still on the back. I'm going to leave them on there. Some people hate it, some people love it. Doesn't matter to me. And this is your extension release for your diver's watch. I left it on there. I did take it off for a short period of time, and it was too tight for me. I have to keep it on. I have a 7 3/4 inch wrist, so it's a pretty good size wrist. And as you see, there is the writing and giving homage to the watch and the 50th anniversary, which was, I believe, 1967. So 1967, not this exact watch, but this model was released. That's a long time. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Now, is 43mm too big for you? Well, that is going to depend on your personal preference and your wrist size. So as we stated before, we'll go ahead and do a comparison. And this is the two-tone root beer, and this is 40mm. And if you look at the size difference, obviously there's a big difference, right? And then as far as thickness, that's the thickness. Now one thing you'll look at and actually see on this is the size of the bracelet. They changed the size of the bracelet in 2018. Much wider. Fits the lugs on the Sea Dweller. Perfect. Absolutely love it. So while I'm wearing this, it does not feel that big. At least to me it doesn't. And then you got the significance of the helium release valve. Now for some, they're like, you know, whatever. I just like the way the watch looks. But if you're looking at the aspect of historical value or horological value, this is the first commercial watch to ever have a helium escape valve. Ever. At least to my knowledge. Pretty awesome. When Rolex was designing this watch, they were working with a French team called Comex. And at the time, they were deep sea oil exploration teams assigned to that company. In a time where a watch like this didn't exist, and Rolex had to step back and actually create something in conjunction with Comex, to sit back and say, hey, this is what we need, our divers are on the floor, can you do it? Just imagine what it took. The team sitting there and just coming up with these ideas, and is it going to work or is it not? Let alone Comex being on a sea floor day in and day out, and then they have to enter a chamber and inhale oxygen mixed with helium. Helium gets inside the watch because it's smaller as far as molecules. They rise up, and then boom, your case breaks. You're done. So what an achievement for Rolex to resolve that problem. That's just mind-boggling for me. This goes down to 4,000 meters, which is, I can't even comprehend. I mean, this watch probably won't ever go into a pool, let alone the ocean. But it just shows the appreciation of the horological point of view, or mechanical point of view, of what Rolex has achieved. I'm just fascinated, if you can't tell. I hope you guys learned something from this video. I want to say thank you for joining me. This is a beautiful piece. I'm very excited. And thanks again to Saxons in Cuba for giving me this opportunity to pick this up. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you at the next review.